All right, folks, we've got Marlon DiCaprio in the house here. We've just done a fantastic pod. That's underneath the video, but don't click on that yet. He's about to walk through his strategy that got him $2.5 million worth of funding with prop firms. This guy's the real deal. So over to you, Marlon, and let's find out what the strategy is.
Sure. So as I mentioned before, I just look for the previous high and the previous low, and also I look for area of interest. So say, for example, I use a 50 EMA. So basically, I'm just looking for the direction. So you can see that price practically is bullish, but at some point it can retest certain areas. So basically, I look at the daily, for example, then I go down to the 4 hour and see what's going on for the day. I predominantly trade the New York session, so I'm looking to get into the market around about 9 a.m. New York time. So anyway, let's go back to yesterday when the CPI catch the move on NASDAQ. I was hoping for that to push down to 21,400, but I believe it rejected that area and went down to about, I think it was 21,460 from memory, around about there. Anyway, going back over here, just give you a quick breakdown. So for me, I always look left in order to go right. So you have to look into the past to see what's going on. So you can see some form of rejection in this area. So I call that area of interest, right? So rejection. All right. Then you come over to the current day, which was yesterday during CPI move. I never like getting in just before the trigger happens during the news read. So for me, I look at the area of interest, which is here and here. So that's support, that's resistance. You could call that the roof, and that's the floor. Okay. So what I'm looking for is...
Hey, start trading Forex indices and commodities with up to 800k of Blue Guardian's capital risk-free. Just pay a small one-time fee to take the challenge, hit a profit target and get funded. Then keep up to 90% of your profits and enjoy fast weekly payouts. Visit BlueGuardian.com or BlueGuardianFutures.com to start trading today and grab their limited time discount code.
Is the previous high during New York session, right? And the previous low. All right, so if price break and retest this structure, you can look for it to continue down to the downsides, right? If it come back and break this structure, right, I'm looking for it to continue and break and retest the area of interest for me to take a buy position. All right, in this scenario, I took a sell during just post CPI. So I was looking for price to break this structure and take my entry all the way down and put my stop just above the New York previous high, okay, which is about 87.3, and looking for about a 300 pip take, right? But that didn't happen. I think I got out around about 21,480. But to give you an insight on how and what I was looking for, so as we mentioned, this was the previous low, previous high. I'm looking for candle formation. So what I'm looking for is a reject. So during the Asian session here, right? So that's Asian session, and that's during London, right? So I'm looking for a rejection of the previous high, which is in the New York session. That's the Asia session, and during this bit right here, that will be a London session. So I'm looking for candle formation. So rejection to the upside, rejection to the downside, rejection again. Then I said, okay, this is where a perfect entry is going to come in. And then I took my entry here, stop loss is there. And you can see during the CPI reading, you can see the rejection of that wick. So as you can see, my stop loss was exactly on point, right, to avoid any stomp out of the trade. So yeah, that's how pretty much I trade. It's very, very basic, very, very simple. I'm only using a 50 EMA or 100 EMA and just looking for rejection. And then once I see that rejection to the upside or the downside, but part of my strategy is that I'm only looking for the 1 hour or the 4 hour to break structure. I'm not getting into any trade until that happens and give me a form of a retest on the 5 minute.
Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at Black Bull Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at Black Bull Markets, and you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below.
So if you go back down in this scenario, that retest didn't happen because the CPI reading, so it actually broke structure, but I was quite aware of that was going to happen. So for me, I got straight into the trade, right? And as soon as I was in 20 or 30 pip, I would move my stop loss down just to minimize any retest of the previous high to take me out at a 1% or whatever it may have been at the time, at a dollar value. Okay, so that's what I was looking for, is break of this structure based on previous highs and previous low. And that's exactly how I trade, and that's exactly how it played out.
And so I see you've got Heiken Ashi candles there. I mean, when did you make the call to move to them?
To be honest with you, when I first started using TradingView, for some unknown reason, it was on those candles. And I thought that was it. So I've been using them for years and I never switch. I don't use normal candles.
Oh, right. Yeah. So just pure chance that you found that. And do you use the Heiken Ashi to get out of trades as well? Yeah.
I use it right throughout. I never switch. I've always.
And so where exactly did you get out of this short trade, the final take profit?
I think I got out at 41,480. I was looking for it to be down at 21,400. And I think I posted this on Instagram as well, that sell down to 21,400, but that didn't happen. I think I got out at 21,480 around this region here because the market was pulling back. So I know because the reason why, Cam, I knew this market was going to pull back, as I mentioned, it was meant to retest in this area and it didn't happen. But that's because of the news, right? So if there wasn't a retest, because I'm a firm believer, no retest, no entry. But because I knew this was going to happen because of the rejection that happened here, well, that was a previous high, right? And it rejected in this area here during the London session, and then it didn't quite, the 4-hour candle did not close above the previous high, it closed below. So I say, you know what, this is definitely going to go into a sell for sure, 100%. It's not going to break to the upside. So that's when I didn't worry about the retest. But generally, I'm all about the retest on the 5-minute, but that didn't happen in this scenario. So that's when I knew that when it start pulling back, when I start seeing this candle reverse pattern down here, because always remember, this is what I always look for, is whenever you see that last candle close and you give it this candle reverse pattern, this third candle here is what you need to watch. This is a candle here that's going to tell you this is going to take the retest all the way back up. You must always watch out for your third candle after the reverse pattern. That's what I look at every time. Reverse pattern, always, never fail. You must always look for reverse pattern.
That makes sense now that you're on the Heiken Ashi chart, because I think you mentioned that in the podcast, and I was thinking this third candle must be like kind of important, but Heiken Ashi is probably going to be a different color, right?
Correct.
Yeah, the colors are going to change. Hey folks, just jumping in here quickly. Now, if you're looking to trade dynamically, you want to learn from my own trading mentor, JJ, then what you need to do is click the link in the description, register your interest, because we're going to be launching this Dynamic Traders Club very soon and you don't want to miss out. All right, let's dive back in. Well, look, Marlon, thank you for sharing that with us. That's a fantastic little breakdown, and hopefully the guys can get a ton of value from that. Now, what's the best way for traders to get hold of you?
Sure. Official Indice Geek on Instagram. As I mentioned before, I just started building my YouTube channel. Just haven't got around to it, but you can definitely reach me there as well. Official Indice Geek on YouTube as well. And anything you need, just hit me up. Official Indice Geek on Instagram. Yeah, that's me.
Brilliant. Well, folks, what we'll do is hook those links up underneath this video. You'll also find his podcast there. So if you want to find out how he got into trading and how his journey developed, then go and check that out. Also, hit subscribe, like, and that notifications bell, and we'll see you in the next one.